Music is often a game of momentum, and a feature can be a defining moment or a disastrous mistake. In this video, we'll look at 8 artists whose momentum died after a bad feature. Ice Spice on the Karma remix by Taylor Swift. When Taylor chose Ice Spice for the remix of Karma in 2023, which was one of the fan favorites from her album, she was trying to appeal to a different audience. Ice Spice had already blown up the previous year with viral hits like Munch, earning her cosigns from artists like Nicki Minaj. Taylor, meanwhile, was dominating the industry with her Midnight's era, so the collaboration promised to bridge the wells of pop and sexy drill. However, the remix was underwhelming. Many felt like Ice Spice's verse sounded out of place and didn't fit in with Taylor's polished synth-pop sound. They even changed up the beat just for her part. Others accused the song of being a PR strategy, especially after the controversy surrounding Taylor's then-boyfriend Matt Healy, who was going viral for making disparaging comments about Ice Spice. The song went on to peak on number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, but it quickly fell off, and the reception online was very bad. Critics described it as awkward and forced, and her fans thought the feature ruined the song. It was called one of the worst features of the year. It was supposed to take Ice Spice to another level, but it only ruined her reputation. In the aftermath, her momentum noticeably died down. Her next singles failed to capture the viral magic of her earlier work, and Karma became the time where her overexposure hit its peak. Even getting to sit next to Taylor at the Super Bowl, everything started going downhill after that. Everybody was getting tired of her sound, and she never recovered after that. Karma was the moment her seemingly unstoppable rise began to lose traction. Iggy Azalea on Booty by Jennifer Lopez. In 2014, Iggy Azalea was at the peak of her powers. Her breakout single Fancy dominated the charts. Problem with Ariana Grande was a summer anthem, and she was being set up to become a long-term pop rap superstar. That same year, Jennifer Lopez invited her to appear on Booty, wanting to make a viral twerk song. On paper, it was the perfect match. 2 stars known for their visuals and booty. In execution, however, it was a turning point for the wrong reasons. The song was heavily marketed through a steamy music video, which was focused on just one thing. Instead of reinforcing Iggy's credibility, it painted her as a novelty act, defined by aesthetics rather than rapping ability. The song underperformed commercially, peaking at number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100, with many calling it over-sexualized and annoying. Worse, it came right as the cultural conversation around appropriation in hip-hop was intensifying, and Iggy's presence on the song didn't help the criticism. After Booty, Iggy's chart dominance evaporated almost overnight. Follow-up singles struggled to gain traction, and her album rollout for Digital Distortion was plagued by delays, and the public started to turn against her. The Booty collaboration symbolized the beginning of the end for her mainstream run. What was intended to be a big moment killed the momentum of an artist many expected to be huge. Fetty Wap on All in My Head Flex by Fifth Harmony. When Fifth Harmony dropped All in My Head Flex in 2016 featuring Fetty Wap, it was meant to be a summer anthem. The collaboration made sense on paper. Fifth Harmony were riding high off work from home, while Fetty Wap was fresh from dominating 2015 with hits like Trap Queen 679 and My Way. He even went on tour with Taylor Swift. But instead of extending his winning streak, the feature exposed the limits of Fetty's formula. His delivery sounded misplaced on the song. Fans immediately noticed how awkward the pairing was. Fetty's verses felt tacked on and lacking chemistry with the group. What should have been a playful crossover instead felt like a forced attempt to keep Fetty relevant with the pop audience. The song wasn't a disaster commercially, peaking at number 24 on the Billboard Hot 100, but for Fetty, it became one of the last times he appeared on a popular radio single. After Flex, his career began to plummet. The oversaturation of his sound, coupled with label issues and changing rap trends, made him seem like a relic from that era. The Fifth Harmony collaboration was his last time in the spotlight. After that, he really fell off. He is now in prison after being convicted for selling drugs. Roddy Ricch on Cooped Up by Post Malone. When Post Malone reached out to Roddy Ricch for Cooped Up in 2022 as a single from his album 12 Karat Toothache, it seemed interesting. Both artists were coming off massive successes, Post with Hollywood's Bleeding, and Roddy with Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, which spawned the chart-topping hit The Box. But as time went on, his momentum was slowing down. Fans expected their collaboration to be an anthem that would dominate the airwaves. Cooped Up kinda flopped, peaking at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 and fading quickly from the charts. The problem wasn't that the song was bad, it was that Roddy's feature was very bad. Post-signature melancholic crooning was smooth, but Roddy just killed the momentum and ruined the song. He had been struggling to match the viral magic of the box, and this feature didn't help his case. Critics and fans began labeling him a one-album wonder. As his follow-up projects flopped, the song exposed a deeper issue. Roddy's sound has stagnated, and Cooped Up highlighted just how much he lost the spark that made him exciting in 2019. In hindsight, the song became a symbolic moment in Roddy's career, a sign that he fell off. DaBaby on Levitating remix by Dua Lipa. When Dua Lipa's Levitating was ascending towards becoming one of the biggest pop hits of the 2020s, the discussion to add DaBaby on the official remix seemed like marketing genius. The rapper was coming off a massive 2020, fresh from the success of hits like Rockstar and Bop, which made him perfect for a pop crossover. Initially, the collaboration worked. Radio embraced the remix, streaming numbers skyrocketed, and it ended 2021 as the biggest song of the year. The feature didn't really improve the song, but that was the version that became successful. But then came his now infamous comments at Rolling Loud 2021, which changed everything. His homophobic remarks turned off a lot of people. The backlash was very bad, leading Dua Lipa to distance herself from the rapper quickly. The controversy killed his career, with even Billboard taking him off the credits of the song. His releases stopped charting high, collaborations dried up, and his reputation suffered. He was being set up to become a rap superstar, but his mainstream career began to crumble. The Levitating remix stands as a textbook case of how a seemingly golden collaboration can backfire. Instead of extending DaBaby's momentum, it thrust him into a pop spotlight he wasn't ready for. Trippie Redd on Thick of It by KSI. Trippie Redd's 2021 collaboration with KSI on Thick of It stands as one of the most confusing pairings in recent memory. KSI, a YouTuber turned rapper, was still fighting for credibility in music, while Trippie was at a delicate point in his career, balancing his relevance with declining commercial performance. The song became such a meme of bad music that it became popular, but Trippie's presence on the song diluted his brand. Once praised for his genre-blending creativity, he came off as disconnected and uninspired. It felt like a cash grab as he delivered a lackluster verse. The song did manage to chart at number 64 on the Billboard Hot 100, but it alienated a portion of Trippie's audience, who saw the move as desperate. After Thick of It, Trippie's momentum died. His next releases lacked the same cultural impact as earlier hits like Love Scars or Topanga. The collaboration with KSI became a symbol of a career struggling. What should have been a lighthearted crossover signaled his fall off. 303 on Blah 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 by Kesha. In 2009, electro-rap duo 303 were riding high off the viral success of Don't Trust Me and their feature on Kesha's My First Kiss. Their tongue-in-cheek approach to electropop was working. They had carved a niche in the growing party pop wave, alongside acts like Cobra Starfish and LMFAO. When Kesha's debut album Animal dropped in early 2010, 303's feature on Blah 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 seemed like a logical follow-up. However, the song was met with mixed reviews. Kesha did well on the song, but the feature from 303 was annoying. The duo's style was already becoming gimmicky and repetitive. Rather than reigniting their hype, the feature exposed how limited their sound had become. Their robotic visuals got old pretty quick, and instead of matching Kesha's chaotic charisma, 303 felt like a relic of the MySpace era. The song was a commercial hit for Kesha, debuting at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, but the duo failed to capitalize on that visibility. Their following singles from Streets of Gold didn't replicate their earlier success, and by 2011, the public's appetite for their brand of ironic frat pop had evaporated. In retrospect, Blah 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 marked a pivot point, the moment where 303 went from rising stars to caricatures of their own act. The feature amplified their over-the-top personas, and instead of broadening their reach, it boxed them in. They never regained mainstream traction after that, as they disappeared from the spotlight. Chance the Rapper on Cross Me by Ed Sheeran. When Ed Sheeran released Cross Me in 2019, as part of his number 6 collaborations project. The inclusion of Chance the Rapper felt like a major moment, coming off the success of Coloring Book and a string of uplifting gospel-inspired rap anthems. Chance was still seen as the golden boy of independent hip-hop. He had also just won 3 Grammys that year. Pairing him with Ed, one of pop's biggest hitmakers, seemed destined to produce something massive. Instead, Cross Me became a forgettable entry in both artists' catalogs. The awkward blend of their sounds didn't work, and Chance's verse felt like a parody of his once charming flow. It was very bad. The problem wasn't just that the song underperformed, peaking at number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100 and falling off quickly. It was that it represented the start of the decline for Chance. His next project, The Big Day, would be his downfall, as it was called one of the worst albums of that year. Fans who once celebrated his sound felt that Cross Me wasn't the right crossover record. The verse felt uninspired, and by the time 2020 arrived, Chance's once bulletproof reputation had taken some hits. Cross Me was the beginning of his downfall, when he became too mainstream and the music didn't back it up. After years out of the spotlight, he has made a decent comeback with his latest album Starline, which is getting great reviews. Which artist whose momentum died after a bad feature did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.